going on, everybody? You in here with the Black Intellectual today. So check this out. We got a doozy of an episode because I kind of thought about this topic, just thinking about it over and over again, whether I should cover it or not. But I was like, why not? It's actually a really well put together situation. But the Arlette Amuli show is actually really useful. Like if you want to be somebody who like watches the show, I ain't gonna lie, I tune into that joint like every week because I'm like, it's a well put together show. She's a beautiful, respectable, well carried black woman. She brings on some very respectful, well put together brothers on the show. Some well together sisters, some not well together, some not well together brothers. But for the most part, I love what she's trying to do. If she's really trying to do it, you know what I'm saying? Like she's trying to get black people to date each other and get the right kind of minded people together. But the thing that we get to use the Pop the Balloon show for, I think, is a lot more than that, right? I honestly think that the Pop the Balloon show has been a very good unintentional benefit to black men. I think the show has proven a lot of what black men have been talking about based off of how black women either reject a black man or choose a black man. And it just goes to show you that the men that she brings onto that show, some of them brothers be a little goofy, but nowhere near as bad, right? And you see the women rejecting brothers off height, clothing, sneakers. Even some brothers is told by the way they talk. A lot of black men have been accepting some of these issues from women for a long time. And I think the Pop the Balloon show has had men on there who've been like, look, your toes ashy. I ain't with it. A little petty, but I dig it, right? Because I guess the men are trying to give the energy back, but I think it's just too tiring trying to give the energy back. But I digress. I think the show has helped a lot of black men in what they've been saying when women say it's not true, but it is. And I think the show has been a very good asset in that point. But to get things started, I kind of want to show y'all the first issue that I think a lot of black men get rejected for. That is just so dumb just because it just doesn't make any sense. And this is why I think a lot of black women go through what they go through on the dating market because it just doesn't make any sense. But like at the same time, I kind of get it, but I'll let y'all see.
Your name and age and why you ended up popping.
I'm Ish, I'm 28, and you have a very handsome face. Bald is not really my thing. I think
Man, I can't even control it.
I know, and I don't mean to say it like that. It's just, I feel like maybe if we were 40s and like you were bald, then it would be like different, but we're like really young.
I know, I know.
So yeah, that's it. And then I don't want to be mean, but I just don't really like how you talk.
Oh, okay. All right. How so?
It's just, I don't know, it's like a little, like just the tone of your voice and like the way you say things,
Okay, well,
it,
okay.
it just makes me feel cringy.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Well, I think you're a nice guy. And
Appreciate
you would be
it.
like a really great friend.
Friend
I just
zone.
don't think that we match.
So we just saw this brother, right? Well put together. I know he had a good job. I wish his job was in the video, but he got rejected by her because she said, bald ain't really for her. And it's so annoying because it's like he really can't control that. He can't control that if he balds early. But I think the dude was like 34. So most men start balding around that age. And I think it's weird how he gets popped for something he can't control. A lot of brothers on this show get popped for something they can't control. Height, hair, things like that. Like especially if they're bald. You really can't stop baldness. I mean, I wish there was a way, but you can't. But God forbid a man pops a woman for being too big, bad attitude, not wearing her real hair, or being a single mother. All these things y'all can control. But this is what we're talking about. It's like, oh, he's got a bald head. And then the one thing I hate the most when it comes from black women is the way he talks. like it's cringy. Like, what did he do that was cringy? He sounded like a dude, sounded like a grown ass man to me, but apparently it was cringy. And it's so weird. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Why is this brother, excuse me, why is this brother who seems like he's well put together, seems like he's well spoken? I think he might have had a child. I can't remember that episode completely, but I think he might have had a child. And he seemed like, a solid dude, but she just like black women make it so rough for us. Because it's like you get, even when there's a show like Arlette Amuli who are putting you in front of well put together black men, y'all still don't want to pick them. Y'all still want to find every little piece to look for to be like, that's why I didn't pick them. It's sad, man, because like some low vibrational dudes could walk onto that show and walk off with whatever they wanted to. Some of the most low vibrational dudes on that show somehow manage to walk off of women all the time. And then you got some women that come on that show and they just be out there. Now, this particular one I want to show y'all, I honestly thought she was funny. I love the way she was dressed. But I'll get into that after I show you guys this little segment. But this woman right here, I liked, but I understood why people didn't like.
Did you get a couple pop balloons?
That's fine.
Let's go ahead and
They
see
gonna
why
wish
you
they
ended up
didn't pop it.
popping. All right, your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
My name's Dante. I'm 25.
And why'd you pop Dante?
Don't get on me internet, bro. Spots on your stain on your little dress.
I was in the back drunk, so whatever.
Oh yeah, you feel me? I can't
It's
do
fine.
that.
It's a $300 dress.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's the $300 dress. My bad. I got a little makeup on it.
Just to shows like you paying attention to care stuff like that. You feel me? You trying to be presentable. Just that, yeah.
Okay.
You feel me?
Respect that.
She pretty.
Gracias.
You agree?
Now, is he someone that's your type?
No, I'm not going. Where are you from?
From Michigan.
He's from Michigan and he has a cowboy hat on. No, I can see if he was from Texas or something. I feel like Southern boys wear the cowboy hats. I'm not a big fan of the cowboy hat. Y'all are so mean.
They got country boys in Michigan.
Anyways, next.
Name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
My name's Ryan. I'm 26.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I think you just had an unwelcoming demeanor, and that was it.
We know why. I mean, everybody pop their balloon, so I might as well be honest. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but I can understand why you would think I have an unwelcoming demeanor. But you're very handsome, Ryan. I love your dimples, but I'm actually very much a sweetheart. Next.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird, right? Like, damn, this weather is crazy. So the guy had a cowboy hat on, and that's what she noticed. She didn't want to say nothing about anything else. Like, just the fact that he got a cowboy hat on, it's like something about the black community with certain type of clothes. I'm like, I don't give a damn that you got a cowboy hat on. If that's your style, right? But the thing that kills me is it was not. I understand why people think she was a little off-putting. Like, I do get it. Like, she's just out there, right? Not to mention she said she was drunk, which is crazy. So that means they be on the show drinking before they come on. Because I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? But like I said before I went to the clip, I think that girl is absolutely gorgeous, bro. I think she's gorgeous. I love the way that dress look. I like the way she look with the dress. The colors pop off her skin. She got that sexy skin. Everything. She was dynamite to me. But yeah, I can get why she's a little off-putting. I really do. And I think it's revealed down the line in one of the reunion episodes, because she's on the big reunion episode that I'm going to use. She has a kid, but that doesn't come up. She does have a kid. She is a single mom, which is just unfortunate because, like, some women like her, they be the main ones be single moms. Like, and you be like, damn, why, shorty? Like, you feel me? And that's another thing that I want to get into, how this show really does prove the point of a lot of black men do not have kids, but somehow these women be on here 2-3 kids deep sometimes. And I believe there was a recent show this week, actually. All them girls had kids. I think maybe one of those girls didn't have a kid. Another girl's kid was like 15 months. Two of them had two kids by two different men. And I think one of them was 23, the other was 28. The one that's 28 made sense, but the one that's 23, that proves our point. A lot of y'all be having kids just out of nowhere with people, and none of the dads be around. Like what? That's crazy. The fact that you would even come on a dating show with two kids is, by two different men is crazy to me. But it's the black community, so you're gonna get what you're gonna get. And it's wild to me. I think all the girls on this show that came out this week had a child or two. None of them had three, but they had a child or two. I think one of them girls didn't have a kid. And I think it was the sister with the black dress on, a real beautiful chocolate sister. I think she was the one that didn't have a child. But all the other girls had a kid. And some of them were fresh kids too. So that was just crazy to me. And a lot of these episodes, the one I'm gonna cover right now, I think every single woman on that panel had a child. Some of them had three kids, some of them had two kids. Now, the dude that is gonna be talked about in this segment, he had a child, but he had one daughter. And that's the majority of black men who have kids. They tend to have one kid. And there's a small number of dudes that have multiple kids. I don't think Arlette's ever had a guy on here that had multiple baby moms. She might have had one dude. She might have had one dude. He had multiple baby moms. But for the most part, a lot of the women that come onto this show is exactly what's wrong with the black community. How y'all be just having all these kids? So it's something to really like digest, because this show helps us. This show helps the argument of a lot of black men don't have kids and a lot of black women do. And my man Sarge Willipede actually just kind of like laid this on the table, and I didn't think about it like this till he said it. That's why I watch him. The two largest demographics in the black community are childless men and women with children. They are the two biggest demographics in the black community. And I said, damn, that makes so much sense when you think about it. Childless men and women with children are higher numbers than married couples. I said, dang. Yeah, we gotta do something about that. But let me show you guys this next clip so we can cover this real quick.
How many
And
kids
your
you have?
preference. I have three.
You have
25,
three?
18, and 12.
Okay, how many baby daddies?
Two.
Two. Okay, so it's no disrespect towards that, right? But I just want you to understand, when it comes to a man of top tier, right? We give you a few from one man. That's it. If you have multiple from a different man, that disqualifies yourself.
So it disqualifies a top tier woman from getting a top
That's
tier
exactly
man
right. Why?
if she
Because there's
has
billions
two.
of women on this planet.
I'm Shay, and I'm 37.
How you doing, Shay?
I'm doing amazing.
Shay, what do you do?
So I work for the county, and I have my own hair business and a few other little small businesses.
All right. And why did you end up popping your balloon?
So originally I was feeling it. I like I don't want to say a bad boy, but I like somebody that's outspoken. But the question of, I feel like you're challenging the women. Oh, how many baby daddies you got? And then, it just, does that matter? You say future, so that's their past. It's not their future. How many kids do you have?
I have one daughter. She's 19.
Do you want more?
I do.
My balloon still pop because I don't want any more.
Okay.
You don't want any more?
Not at all. I
You
have.
can't have
one.
any more. You
No, I'm
choose
choosing
not
I
to
choose
have
not
any
to have
more.
any more. I have a
Okay.
almost 14-year-old, and
Okay, yeah. Well, the reason for me asking their past about the baby daddies, because it lets me know where they're going in their future. If you didn't want to have a baby daddy for the second time, then that lets me know that you was uncareful of what you're dealing with.
do you necessarily
Okay.
believe that somebody's past is their past that don't determine their future?
Not-
Because
not-
I mean, I can look at you and say like you made people make mistakes. And it could happen. I feel like once or twice, okay, some things become a choice, but your past doesn't determine.
When it comes to once is a mistake. Twice, that's on you.
Okay, so then say like you get into a relationship with somebody, you get married, and things don't work. So then I guess you made a mistake, and then so you once is a mistake, and then twice is. I don't believe in that because I believe things happen.
Sweetheart, twice is on you.
Okay,
You
but-
should have learned from that very first
No,
mistake. Okay,
Lessons are
and
to be
not
learned.
saying that your child is a mistake, right?
Of course
But the
not.
fact that you chose the wrong man to have kids with, and secondly, not to have a marriage after the next one or before the
Marriage
next
doesn't
one.
determine, and I'm a person that wants to be married, but marriage don't determine anything. I done known people to be married for a long time and it don't work out, baby. So
Okay.
yeah, you are no, honey bun,
Okay.
you're too aggressive now.
No problem. Well, the aggressiveness that comes from a Southern man, right?
Baby, let me explain
And we
something to you.
stand on what we
My
talking
roots
about.
come from Texas, so
Okay, I'm from New Orleans.
okay, so
You know what I
the
mean?
South,
So
the
when
battles of the South.
All right,
like I
Brian.
said again.
Brian, let's move on.
So, like I was saying, he had two different women on there from the same channel. The one, so that's the same episode, right? And the first woman was saying, like, I got three kids, 25, 18, and 12, by two different men, which is just crazy that I think the first kid had a different dad, and then the bottom two had the same dad. So you and the bottom dude was together for 6 years. Like, what happened? But you popped out two kids. And this isn't to judge her or anything like that, right? I'm not trying to judge her, but like, damn, how do y'all just not be getting married, but y'all be having these kids? Like, black women can't really complain about like black men not wanting to marry them because it's not stopping y'all from having children. Y'all are still out here just making these kids left and right. And she was real upset, like, oh, a top tier woman can't get a top tier man. No, you can't. No, at least not that one, because he don't want them. And it's not his priority or his like obligation to have to want to accept your children. And this is something like I need a lot of sisters to understand. You pick the men you pick, it don't work out. And it's not because you're young. You wanted a dumb dude, so that's what you got. You played a stupid game, you won a stupid prize. I know it sounds insensitive, but it is what it is. You play a stupid game, you win a stupid prize. You could have had a solid dude, you didn't want him. And y'all can't say y'all wasn't around him. Every black dude ain't from the hood, and every black dude from the hood ain't about that lifestyle. We see it every day. I'm not saying your baby dad's a hood dude, but 9 times out of 10, based off of black women's preferences, I gotta go with the majority of the situation. Gotta go based off the majority. It's judgmental, I know, but it's goddamn precise at this point. So yes, I'm loving this mass exodus of you got all these baby daddies, you got all these kids. I ain't trying to deal with it. Thank God that the men of today are so different from the men of yesterday. Then you had the other sister who was just kind of like, oh yeah, you challenging the women, yeah, as he should, because yeah, you got these kids by all these different men. I think she had two kids by two different men, or something like that. And she's saying, oh, people make mistakes. I am over black kids being labeled mistakes because you just don't want to take accountability for your dumb decisions. The first kid, sure, like okay, you had one kid, and we could try to be understanding, but then you go and have another one, either by the same dude or by a different dude. And then you keep going down the line. Brian was right. Y'all pick the wrong dudes all the time to have kids with. I don't blame him for being a little aggressive. Yeah, he had a kid too, but his daughter was 19 and he was in his daughter's life. I think Brian was in his daughter's life. But like he said, some dudes will give you one kid, some dudes will give you one baby dad with multiple kids. But if you got different baby daddies, you just sloppy with the goose. I'm sorry. We gotta say it for what it is. I know y'all don't like that vision of we're just out here being sloppy with it, but that's what it is. You're being sloppy with it, and you getting results. Not the type of results you probably want, but you're getting results. So, like Brian was correct. Like you picking these dudes the way you want to pick them. We have the show to prove it. Just look at how they get rejecting dudes. Look at how they picking their dudes. Look at how they come on the show acting. And some of those dudes reject them because they already know she's a problem. So if you got a solid dude and he sees she's a problem, yeah, he's not going to deal with her neither. Then you walk on here with the kids. You absolutely can control that. You control who you sleep with. You control who you allow in your body. You control whether someone becomes a father or not, because my body, my choice is still an option in a lot of these states. Goodness gracious. It's like, yo, it's so many dudes that come onto this show and they don't have kids, but the lineup be having kids. It's wild to me. But you know what? We're gonna get into like the best part of this whole situation, because this is the part where the reunion happened. And they had a good amount of people from that same episode. I know the sister with the orange dress was from a different episode, but like she was, like I said, she was on this reunion because she was in that season. And even she had a kid, which I don't think came up in her episode. Like I mentioned earlier, she had a child too. So I think all the women eventually on that reunion show were mothers, but no husband. I don't even think they were married. But let's
Um,
see.
I'm true to my core. I I'm not ashamed of my past. I'm not ashamed of my 3 kids, and if I wouldn't have the 3 baby daddies, I wouldn't have my 3 amazing kids. I don't allow him and his judgment to define me as a woman or where I stand on today. It's his preference. He deserves a queen of however, whatever that looks like for Brian. But for me, you have to accept me as a whole with a 4 unit. So it's either, are you even equipped to hold down this fort? You can't judge me. I didn't take anything personally. I talked to Brian afterwards. I said, I don't take anything personal. I'm not mad at you. I don't, it is what it is.
It's a
My
preference.
person is my person. You know what I'm saying? But like, people don't know how to live in reality. They want to live into society, and it's fake to me. I'm not with it.
Okay. And I think Shayna, you want
I think I wanted to deliver it the way I did, right?
okay.
Because if I'm coming on some softness, you're not gonna really grasp what I'm telling you.
That's not.
Right? And the thing about accountability is you want me to deliver it the way you want to hear it. Nah, the truth hurts. The truth hurts. You got to be able to embrace that. We as men, we embrace accountability. And women have to do the same exact
Women
thing
do
and not get
embrace
angry
accountability. I'm not
and feel
angry.
like men
I'm
are
not-
aggressive
I'm not
and
being
feel like
aggressive.
men are aggressive when they're delivering what they're trying to say. Like, no, I wasn't disrespectful on the show, right? And maybe I could have delivered it a little bit softer. But
And
that's
then
not
James,
the route that I
you wanted to
chose.
say something.
Brother, the way you been
Brian, I don't think your delivery was 100% wrong, but there is a difference between you as a type of man and there's another type of man. There's 2 different types of men. It's your preference, and it's a man that knows that he comes into this world to be a leader, protector, provider, who also knows that you're going to take care of a family as a whole. It doesn't matter if they're your kids or it takes a village to raise these kids. I didn't take any judgment, but if you prefer a woman with 1 kid or you want some more with more kids, that's on
That's
you.
fine.
You're just not my person, and I'm not mad at you. And I'm not even mad at the world. And I don't give a fuck about anybody. If we can keep it G. I take care of my kids. They're well taken care of. I'm an independent woman. And I deserve a strong man who's ready to take care of a household. Not saying that that's not you or no other man in this world. Everybody got their own opinion. And I respect you 100%. It is what it is.
And let me
All right, so we saw a little bit of that reunion, right? I'm gonna probably show a little bit more of it. I don't know, but the thing that killed me about this whole thing was, one, I respect the sister the way she handled herself on the panel. She looked like she might have still been in her feelings, but it is what it is. I'm assuming she's probably not used to dudes just going, look, I don't want them kids. I don't know what her thing is, but on the show I couldn't really find a clip of her clean like that. She had 3 kids by 3 different dudes. I think she said the first kid's dad passed away, which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? We got to give grace on that situation because that's unfortunate. Now, she had the one with the kid, with the dad that passed away. I think she would have been cool. You feel me? Like, I think she'd have been straight. But it's the other 2 kids by the other 2 men who are nowhere to be found, as she said. Like, so you just met these dudes, let them hit raw, had a kid by them, and then disappear. That's the part that's not making sense. She never said a relationship or anything. She just said they disappeared. Like they just you had two kids with two different dudes and they just gone. That's a horrendous red flag. That's two horrendous red flags. And I'm 100% on Brian's side, man. Like the craziest part about it was, they tried to say his delivery was crazy and all this other shit. No, it wasn't. His delivery was straightforward and honest. And then I'm with him when it's like you only want the accountability the way you want it, the way you want to hear it. No, accountability is the accountability. And the thing I appreciate is the fact that he stood on his square and stood ground on it. He didn't fold. He didn't apologize. He didn't say nothing. He just said, "Look, what it is like," and that's the problem. And a lot of black men are finally, thank God, starting to just speak up about the stupidity of it all. Yeah, one girl saying that it's a mistake. You got the other girl saying this, and she's saying, this, that, and the third. And the part that really irritates me is how she's like, I stand on what I did. I love my three kids. If it wasn't for the three dads, I wouldn't have my three kids. But that is the stupidest way to look at a situation that you shouldn't even be in with them bad decision making skills. If you got three kids by three different men, but you by yourself, one's passed away, which is unfortunate, and the other two are nowhere to be found, what type of men are you dating? And he's right. What's wrong with you? And we already know because she rejected Brian because of his pants. She said she's ghetto and she liked the pants loose. So we already got an issue with that and we already know what type of dude she's into. So since we know that already, why should I feel bad that she's a single mom with three kids? Like, why should I feel bad about that? If she'd have just, tried to get to know Brian, they probably would have vibed. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he was feeling her physically. She's not an ugly girl. She's beautiful. The other part that drove me crazy was the fact that she was just like, "Oh, it takes a village to raise these kids." Lord have mercy. Black people have ruined the topic of the village 10 times out of 10. It is a trivialized statement at this point. I'm over it now because it takes a village to raise these kids. Why are the fathers of your children never in this said village? Why do the fathers of your children get to make kids in the village, then leave the village, then the people who are still in the village are responsible for them? That's the problem I had with the village concept. The village concept is bullshit because it sets up black men to look dumb and look goofy because we got to play Superman. Because you wanted to make kids with the bull that didn't have a village mindset in the first place. They didn't want to be in the village to begin with. He just wanted to hit it and quit it and get up out of there. So while all the Supermen are in the community, you making kids with dark side and he just boom tooming up out of there. Ridiculous. The village concept is trash. And then someone she need a strong man. That should have been the first option before you had them children. Why is that never the first damn pick? What they really looking for is Russell Wilson. Accept me, whatever. They looking for the men of yesteryear. Back in the 80s and 90s. Oh, you got three baby daddies. I don't mind it. Oh, I'll take care of them kids, girl. It don't matter. I'm trying to be the father figure. You know what I'm saying? They wish the men of today were like those men. Thank God we're not like those men of yesteryear. Maybe we can actually scare the next generation of girls into being very responsible with who they have children with. Unfortunately, this generation is shot, but the next generation of girls are going to grow up with this content in their ear every day until the predicament changes. And that's just what it is. Take a village, man. I can't stand the village concept. It's been ruined. And the accountability part was the greatest part about the whole thing because he said it best. You want the accountability the way you want to hear it. No, you're gonna get it straight from the source. And then the woman before they had their little conversation was like, "You judging me off my past? No, we're judging you off what we got to deal with presently. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at these kids. I'm looking at the men you made the kids with. I'm looking at the table, and it's just me. So imagine sitting at a table, you there, she on the other side. One side of the table got three different dudes you don't know, and the other side got three different kids. Neither of those kids are yours. Neither of those dudes are in the kids' lives, but neither of the dudes are in her life either. But they don't want you in her life. So you just look goofy. You the only person at that table with no connection. You're just sitting there. The women of the community do not think this shit through. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened right there. But yeah, we're going to force these girls to just get it. If you going out here popping out kids with multiple different dudes, understand what comes with that. You are going to be in a much harder time trying to find somebody. And I want to bring up another key point that I just had to, double back on. The excuse of I was married or the marriage just couldn't work out if we did get married, but it didn't stop you from having a child is one of the biggest bullshit reasons why we are in the situation that we're in. It's always, oh, we just didn't work out, or even if you get married, it won't work anyway. It's just another like throw the rock into the water to see, you know, if it'll skip or sink, just to be like, oh yeah, well, I can have the kid and still find me a husband. The entitlement of I can just find a husband who will accept my children. I'm so glad that that's going out the window because now the women are going to have to start being real strategic. And I'm going to be honest, this is why I blame black men because we've allowed this mentality to go on for too long. If we'd have shut this shit down 30 years ago, 20 years ago, this wouldn't be a problem right now. And that's just on that. That's just on what it is. But I digress. Shorty talking about she need a man to come in and take care of a unit. The unit is hers. She come full package, a full house, a full situation. Don't nobody want all that. It's ridiculous. He can't even get his own kids because you done did it 3 times already. He got to accept the kids, accept you, accept whatever you bring to the situation from those past dudes because y'all love doing that too. Yo, Brian was correct, bro. And I'm so glad Brian did that on the internet. So many black men saw that and said, we don't have to deal with this no more. Thank you. Because it's ridiculous. It is to the point where the women are like, somebody will accept them. So they're just having the kids regardless. Just it's a problem. It's a huge problem out here. But I kind of want to get into the next segment too, where it's just like, why I think a lot of black men should walk around with this mentality. And let's get into it.
And let me hold on, wait, hold on. And I respect that, I appreciate that, right? It's gonna be a special type of man that's gonna come in and take care of you and your unit. That's gonna take care of you and your unit, right? Because most men want to start their own family, all right? You know what I'm saying? So why would we come in and be a stepdad when we know if you have 3 kids, then I'm gonna be the 4th? You're gonna look at me like the 4th, even if I'm taking care of the house.
No,
right? Because they're not mine.
Because you're not a baby daddy or a husband. You're not going to be a
You're
baby
the head
daddy.
of household. It's a difference.
I understand that, but I'm not their real father, right? So I'm
But
not their
that's-
biological father, right? So, and things come with that, right? It comes with, you may feel like, I'm not raising your sons right.
Or you can't.
I'm
whoop
going to dead this right now. I had a baby daddy that told me in front of my child, I am not his daddy. I don't need a nigga like that. And I said nigga.
You don't want one.
I need a man who knows who's going to come into a whole house. He's going to take mine as his. He's going to take me as his partner. It's one, honey. When you find a wife, you find a good thing. I'm not living into society or social media. This show, and I appreciate you guys, because this is real life. Mm-hmm. You show me the real deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say too much more, but
if you guys were to get together, hypothetically speaking.
Who?
Yeah, I'm just hypothetically speaking.
Just hypothetically, you and Brian.
You and Brian. If you and Brian were to get together, hypothetically speaking, can he put his hands on your children?
What? Put his hands on my
As
children?
far
That's a real
yes,
question.
Yeah,
yes.
let's word that a
Can he?
little.
Well, we know what we're talking about. I mean, Brian, you understood what I was saying, correct?
Correct.
If your kids is acting up,
Yeah.
can he whoop your kids? Like
If
he
they
would whoop
need
his
it,
own son.
if they need it.
Uh,
I mean,
You
let's
just
be
have to
real.
be. You just
This
have
ain't
to
about
be.
that, but let's be real.
If you're gonna whoop somebody else's kids, you just got to be ready for that repercussion.
the
right?
afterward.
Exactly. What
You
comes
feel
after
me?
that? Because as a father, nobody's gonna whoop my kids.
Exactly.
But if
barely whoop
I
my
am the
kids.
step parent of somebody else's kids, I'm a whoop them.
But you're not
and
gonna
I
whoop 'em for
understand
nothing.
that's
can't whoop your
double.
kids, but
no,
you can whoop
because
Ways to discipline
I'm ready to
kids
fight for
besides
mine.
whooping them.
I'm ready
I
to
got a
fight for mine.
5-year-old.
So
My son has never had a whooping.
listen, I'm ready to fight
Ever.
for mine, so I'm going to check you on that. And if dude wanted to check me on that, he has that right. And that's all I'm saying.
and,
is
no,
you
and
gotta-
those are the issues that
It's the
we
way to
deal.
do
And
it.
those are the issues that we deal with being a step parent. Like in
So as I stated before, I played this clip though. You see how she was saying like, "Oh, my son's father or daughter's father, whatever kid it was, the dad straight up told her in front of the child that's not his kid." What type of niggas are y'all dealing with? Like, I don't understand this. And Brian took all that on the chin like a G. He just said, it's gonna take a special type of dude to come in there to help be with that unit. And I love the way he put that because he's right. It's only gonna take a special type of dude, a nigga that's gonna want them, like my man Refugee Neo said earlier in the video. I didn't play it because it's not important, but he's like, I don't mind if she got a starting lineup, but she made a disgusted face, like, ew, like what? That's the type of dude you qualify for. And the brother, what I'm saying, Refugee Neo, he was out here, saying stuff, and he sounded like he was willing to accept whatever. That's the type of dude she could get. A dude who will accept whatever. But going into what Brian said is exactly why, I love when brothers tell this because it's the facts. Why would I come into a situation with you with all of those kids when I can go start my own family with somebody else? That is the realest reason why I fucks with Brian. Because he's right. Why would he do that? He could just go make his family with another woman. He had one child and he wanted more. But that doesn't mean he wants yours. Like if she had one, I think he'd have been cool with that because he got one, but she got three by three different dudes. He got one kid with one person. And the thing that got me the most was he was right. Why? And then the bull on the other side was like, hey, could he discipline your kids? And they was like, all this pushback, all this pushback. So the child disrespects him. The child breaks some stuff. The child do this, that, and the third. He disrespects you. He can't discipline the child. And then, like I said, Refugee Neo with the simp cape on. You see what I'm saying? And I hate that word simp, but like that's the only word I can think of right now. He had a little simp cape on, playing Superman. Oh, as a stepdad, I'm gonna beat the kids, but you can't beat mine. I'm willing to fight. That's exactly what we're talking about. Why set myself up for this life of stress where I'm supposed to provide, protect, and all this other stuff? Your baby dads were none of those things, but I got to be all of those things. And look at the stress I get for it. It is an unfair deal. It's a trash deal for a black man in 2024, going into 2025, trying to be a stepdad to somebody like her. I'm sorry, ladies, but it is what it is. Now, it is interesting to think that, like, he was willing to be a stepdad and beat the kids, but nobody could be his kids if they his kid's stepdad. Crazy. And I love the boy when he said, this is exactly what we have to deal with as a step parent. This is the number one problem. And then, sister, like I said, from an earlier part of the video, she had a cut. She has a son, and she was like, my son's 5 and he's never been beat. Just because he's 5 and he never been beat, don't mean he ain't gonna need one when he's 8 or 9. This is just what I'm saying. It's just like when a woman has a kid by herself, she is way too like it's no reason, but you don't know. And walking into that situation with you is a pain in the ass. That's why it's just not worth it. And like I said, all these great preachers, I know the one woman, she was like, oh, you wouldn't be a baby daddy, you would be a husband. What the hell does that mean? Oh, he just gets magically treated better? No, he's getting treated worse. He's instantly getting treated worse. The dude that takes care of her is the dude that's getting treated the worst out of all her baby dads. It is what it is. I said what I said. Because all her mood swings, all of her flashbacks, all of her kids' flashbacks, all of the kids' attitudes, all the kids' mood swings, they got single mother tendencies because they only saw her acting. Yeah, they got to come into a large, crazy situation and deal with that mess. Anyway, this video been going on for a while. I gave my little 2 cents, but I'm gonna end on this. This show has so much potential to give black men fuel for a long time. I know every time Arlette drops an episode, Media Man does a live on it that Friday. Like that's just what he does. And he covers them beautifully. He covers them better than I ever could because he's good at doing lives and all that. I want to try to get my first live out by the end of the year. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to do it like the 31st, like in the afternoon, maybe early evening, and just try to get it out there just to have my first live done. But it it's just, why would we come into those situations? Why come into those situations? The show is useful. The show is helpful. It's helped us understand how women choose their men, the situations they end up in, and why they're there. It's not black men's fault. It is them. It has everything to do with them and a little bit to do with the dudes that they date, but not black men as a whole. And I want y'all to know this. This show is very useful and it's going to continue to be useful. So watch the show, support Arlette Amuli because she does have a good thing going. I think it's an incredible show. And support Arlette Amuli because she's an incredible woman. You know what I'm saying? We got to support the incredible people, right? And, you know, make sure you ingest that information because they tell on themselves in the episode for why they're in the situations they're in. So, with that being said, stay vigilant because this is getting goofier by the year. I need black men to understand that you are appreciated, but you also have some of the biggest bullshit to pick from. This show is exactly going to help you look out for that, especially you younger black boys in your early 20s and your teen years. And thank you, Arlette Amuli, for giving us the information that we need without knowing that you're doing it. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all been in here with the Black Intellectual. This was a long one, yo. Here with me. You see me out here stunting, hit that like button. Like the video. I really want my likes to get up. Comment and subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next one.